Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing the Laurent Ferrier Galet Square with micro-rotor movement. This is a 41 millimeter diameter stainless steel case that is 11.4 millimeters thick and 48 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. The Galet micro-rotor came out in 2012, and 3 years later, in 2015, Laurent Ferrier launched the cushion-shaped Galet Square that we see right here. All in stainless steel, it is a practical everyday dress watch, and you'll appreciate that on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it wears beautifully, almost like a wire lug rowdy mirror, but far more delicate in detail. You can see it's a flat watch with a generously sloped case flanks, will slide underneath the sleeve. Down the barrel, you can see 48 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip is large for a dress watch, but not broad for a 41 millimeter diameter watch. I could recommend it for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. The strap is blue, large rectangular scale alligator leather, matte finish. There is a folded edge, a monotone stitch, suede on the underside. You'll note it is a brand new Laurent Ferrier factory strap. And then we have a rare feature on Ferrier watches, which is a deployant clasp in matching stainless steel. Most of these come with pin buckles. This is extra insurance against dropping your watch. And take note, they even designed the buckle itself to have the same compound curved fluid form that you find on the case. Galet, a pebble, smoothed in a stream over eons. That is the design ethos of both the square and the standard Galet. We have a little teardrop profile to the lugs, which break out rather sharply from the case band. They're not integrated Calatrava style. The case is beautifully handsome, rounded, and though it is cushioned in profile, it's not a hard geometry square. Even when viewed from the top, there's always a rounded, soft refinement to cushion the blow of hard angles that would otherwise appear. Now we have a lovely, partially countersunk onion-style crown, a little nod to the pocket watch era. A dial with a vertical satin metallic finish in blue, so metallic blue with a vertical curtain-like satin finished brushing. We have white gold hands and indices, dart-style applique indices in white gold. We have a sub-register for seconds with a concentric pattern internally, and then assegai or spear-shaped elongated white gold hands. Turn the watch over and you see the FBN 22901. So we have here Ferrier, but also Barbacini and Nivas, the fathers of this movement. The B and the N, the founders of La Fabrique du Temps, and prior to that, co-founders of B&B Concept. They are haute horlogerie masters, and they helped Laurent Ferrier to design this watch, which is why the initials of Ferrier, Barbacini, and Nivas are on the reverse side. Now, the watch has a ratcheting bidirectional micro-rotor that's cut with a rose lathe with a wonderful guilloche pattern, and it uses a jeweled staff. So between the ratchet click that they use and the jeweled staff, this is one of the smoothest and quietest automatic winders you will ever encounter. Of course, the watch is also beautifully finished, but let's talk a little bit about the mechanics. So you have one barrel, and thanks to the low-friction double direct impulse escapement, that one barrel is sufficient for 72 hours or 3 days of power reserve. The watch includes this lovely ratchet-type micro-rotor winding, and you can see that the steel bridge on which it's mounted is beautifully black polished across its top, and then mirror beveled on its side. Take a quick look and you can see that the anglage on this movement is a mile wide, and there is some ambition to the finishing. As you can see, particularly over the center wheel, there is a sharp inward angle where the two bevels meet. That's very difficult to achieve. You'll find quite a few Geneva hallmark movements that don't include one interior angle. And yet, you can see here we have more on the bridge adjacent to the escapement. So the train bridge features several minor interior angles, and then we get 4 extremely ambitious and sharp interior angles inside the skeletonized and black polished balance cock. So you can see we have 6-position adjustment. That's one more than a standard chronometer. It gives deviation and inaccuracy no position in which to be stashed. Watchmakers like to do that with 5-position adjustment. Here, you have dial up, dial down, crown left, crown right, crown up, crown down. No place to hide that inaccuracy. 35 joule movement, it beats with 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it is free sprung, so all the adjustment is made to the balance and variable inertia bolts on the balance. So not only a very precise system for adjustment, but also resistant to shock. It can't change its timing. We also have an overcoil hairspring to better center the mass of the hairspring for better timekeeping in those 6 tested positions. Now, if you look carefully, you can see there are 2 nickel phosphorus escape wheels. There is no Swiss lever. This is a double direct impulse escapement, much like the Breguet natural escapement of 1802. So the wheels, the escape wheels, directly impulse the balance, and with 2 escape wheels, as the balance bounces back and forth, these wheels impulse it only in its direction of travel, so they're never reversing the motion, and the contact is always tangential. That improves chronometry, reduces maintenance requirements, and also improves power reserve. And the blocker system that locks the wheel that is not currently impulsing, you can just barely see it. It's an iridescent purple rod that is a silicon blocker that locks and unlocks the 2 sides of the escapement. The balance is also physically large with a lot of inertia, which helps it to be very accurate and resilient against shock and vibration in spite of its 21.6 beat rate. Now, if you look carefully, you can see that even the steel balance bridge has been beveled internally and beveled externally. All the screws are world class, polished black on their top with chamfered slots and circumference. We have engine-turned perlage on the base plate, beautifully broad and perfectly aligned Côte de Genève across the bridges. And you can even see that there is a system that transfers the action of the crown to the barrel and decouples the manual winding as you wind. And that entire mechanism has been mirror polished with diamond paste, just like the many other black polished components of this movement. All of this 30 meters water resistant. Possibly the best finished watch you can buy for the price, and also one of the most technically sophisticated. The Galet Micro-Rotor, whether round or square, is one of the best dress watches you can buy. And Laurent Ferrier is still making under 200 watches a year, although that will rise with the sports watch, not by much. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.